Good evening, everybody, and Merry Christmas from Norristown High School. My name is Joe Hyland, and along with Bob Koch, we will be bringing you all the action in tonight's game between the Cardinals of Upper Dublin and the Norristown Eagles. As you know, the Eagles were brought up short in their last game, a 12-point loss to powerful Cheltenham. The Eagles of Coach Evans, however, were only a point down at the end of three quarters. However, the fourth quarter saw their demise. The Eagles didn't take care of the ball very well against Cheltenham, and their 27 turnovers were instrumental in the Eagles' defeat. At this level, Quad A, PIAA, varsity basketball, in this very tough conference, you cannot expect to win the game if you give the ball away 27 times. The Eagles are going to have to take care of the ball better this evening. Upper Dublin comes into the game 4-5, 2-2 in conference play. Their last game, a convincing 20-point victory over Springfield High School. The Cardinals are always fundamentally sound, and this year's edition will be no different. In other words, the Eagles will have to beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals will not beat themselves. Coached by Jack Spinella, now in his first year at Upper Dublin will run a motion offense and a man-to-man defense against the Eagles. Offensively, the Cardinals are led by Steve Dobriak, 6'4" Rich Bruns, and Seamus Brady, all of them seniors. Dan Strauss will run the point for the Cardinals, with Andy Spiker coming off the bench in a sixth-man capacity. Coach Spinella, not surprisingly, sees stopping Willis Gardner on the outside and Mike Buckley on the inside as the key to victory this evening. That's easier said than done. Coach Spinella, as you may or may not know, comes into this game with excellent credentials himself. He is a graduate of Wagner College in New York, and he has been the head coach at Springfield High School, Montco, and also he has coached at Ursinus College. For the last 6 years, Coach Spinella has been assisting at Hatboro Horsham, and as we spoke prior to this pregame, coaching at Hatboro Horsham, you have to know what you're doing. So, I expect a hard-fought, competitive game. I do think the Eagles should win this game. To bring you up to date with regard to the Eagles situation, my good friend and colleague Bob Koch. Bob?
Thanks, Joe. Several things. Norristown is sporting a 4-1 record, and as Joe pointed out, Norristown did lose to Cheltenham. Part of the problem was 27 turnovers. Those turnovers were not at the point guard position. They were at other positions. The 4 and 5, it's just a sloppy, as you pointed out, sloppy fourth quarter. But nonetheless, I asked Coach Evans, how's practice been since? He said it's been excellent. He has great leaders on the team this year. Surprisingly, one of the sophomores, Witter, is one of the team leaders in practice. Willis has been doing a great job. Buckley's been doing a great job. Cheltenham is history. They're not concerned about Cheltenham at this point. And that's part of coaching. That's the process. You bury it. It's history. They have to look at Upper Dublin. They have PW next week. They have the tournament, right, the Triangle Tournament coming up. So a lot of good things ahead of them. Once again, Mike Evans is radiating. He's happy. He's very satisfied with the practices, the team, the players he's working with. He's very pleased with the practice effort, the way they're collaborating with each other on and off the court. A lot of team chemistry, a lot of team unity. With reference to Upper Dublin tonight, there are blind spots. He knows the coach, of course, from previous coaching encounters, but he doesn't know Upper Dublin's players. He has not seen them. There are 5, as you pointed out privately to me, the 5 players who played last year either graduated or not starting. So there's 5 new players starting for Upper Dublin this year. So that, of course, will be an issue. As a coach, the opposing team, you worry about that because you have to learn on the fly, and that's not really good. On a positive note, I think for Norristown, they are playing well. They are going to look to run the court. They're going to pressure Upper Dublin's guards right from the get-go to see if they can handle the pressure. They are going to work inside, as you pointed out. They're going to work that inside-outside game. So they are going to push up. They're going to work the inside-outside game. And as long as Norristown continues to play a team game, and I don't see any reason that will change with the coaches and players they have, they will be very tough as this season progresses. Now, what are you looking, as a coach, what are you looking for out of this game? It's not just a WL. With a tournament coming up Friday and Saturday, you want to play well. You want to cut down on those turnovers that you had the other day. You want to execute on both ends of the court, start getting that confidence back to where it was if there was any slippage from the Cheltenham game. Joe, I'll turn it back to you, and it's almost game time.
Yes, indeed. I agree with Bob. It's very important to establish momentum going into the holidays. They have the Christmas tournament, right here, the Triangle Club Christmas tournament, and also they have Plymouth Whitemarsh on January the 2nd and Downingtown on January the 3rd. So they want to start off this game very sharp, very aggressive, take the game to the Cardinals, and hopefully come away with a win. It's not going to be easy, but I see the Eagles winning in a convincing fashion. That'll wrap up our pregame show. We'll be back for the opening tip-off, the introduction of the starting lineups, and the Star Spangled Banner right after this break. Thank you. All right, welcome back to Norristown High School and tonight's game between the Upper Dublin Cardinals and the Norristown Eagles. Joe Hyland along with Bob Koch. We're about to introduce the starting lineups.
At this time, I would ask that everyone would please rise.
We're all going to rise now and listen to the playing of our national anthem.
Please make way for the color guard.
The color guard, the colors will be presented by the Norristown Junior ROTC program. They are pacing the length of the court. They will present the colors, and then we'll have the playing of our national anthem. Right now for the starting lineups. First for the visiting Upper Dublin Cardinals, dressed in cardinal and white. Eagles, of course, in their traditional blue and white. White with blue trim.
May I remind you to keep your children from running up and down in the halls, keep them in the stands with you at all times, and do not walk under the baskets during the course of the game. Thank you. And now for the starting lineups. For Upper Dublin, number 4, Seamus Brady.
Number 4, Seamus Brady, a senior.
Number 10, Steve Doviak.
Number 10, Steve Doviak, also a senior.
Number 15, Brandon Gray.
Number 15 is Brandon Gregg, the only underclassman to start for the Cardinals this evening.
Number 24, Rick Broom.
Number 24, the Cardinals offensive and defensive leader Rick Bruns.
And number 35, Dan Strauss.
And number 35, the point guard, Dan Strauss, also a senior. As you mentioned in the pregame, Upper Dublin is 4-5, 2-2 in conference play.
And now starting for the Eagles.
Now for the Eagles of Norristown.
Kenny Witter.
Number 5, dependable Kenny Witter.
Number 10, Willis Gardner.
Number 10, the Eagles offensive leader Willis Gardner, a senior.
Number 12, Gianni Calabretta.
Number 12, a very pleasant surprise for Norristown this year, Johnny Calabretta, starting at the 2 guard.
Number 20, Mike Buckley.
Number 20, the strong, powerful Mike Buckley. Splendid sophomore for the Eagles.
Number 33, Tom Petoli.
Number 33, Tom Poniatowicz.
Who will be referred as Tom P for the rest of the evening, so I don't get spanked.
Radio?
Television.
Television. We get a copy of the tape.
So anything you do can and will be. Yes, yes.
Just exchanged a few pleasantries with one of the officials, Stan Brown. He wanted to know if this was on radio or on television. And Bob had informed him firmly but politely, this is going to be on television.
I think it was serious. He'd like to see a tape or have a tape of it. I don't think it's too often they actually have the opportunity to get a tape and critique their own. Right? So,
right. Bruns against Buckley. Top control by the Eagles, Kenny Witter to Willis Gardner. They set up the offense, Upper Dublin in a man-to-man. Buckley, top of the key, rattles home a jump shot, Mike Buckley. Nice start, Bob.
yeah, and a good post feed, and he looked, he saw the good jumper. I would think Upper Dublin, as you pointed out, is going to be very disciplined, very fundamental.
Yes.
The talent level will be the differential, but it won't be from a lack of coaching or execution.
Here's the Rick Bruns in the corner, guarded by Buckley. Seamus Brady. There's Doviak from the right corner. Top of the key, Strauss looks to drive, does drive. Into Bruns, drops in a layup, 2-2.
It's a nice play, nice penetration, Joe, and a nice layup. Tough shot.
Here's Kenny Witter in the left corner, back to Willis. Calabretta from the right wing, bingo.
See, and that's so important because there's a guy who does not shoot much, and he takes the second shot in the game, and it's nothing but net.
Right. That was a 3. Here's Strauss. Eagles defense almost forced a turnover. It'll be the Cardinals' ball under their own basket, 5-2 Norristown.
One of the things that Mike pointed out prior to the game is expect Upper Dublin to be very disciplined, very slow. They're not going to look to push it up. Keep the score close. Be patient. Very similar to Upper Horsham in that game. Patient and slow because they don't have the talent to match up. Not a lot of value in pushing it up.
Right.
First team first.
But that was a nice inbounds play. Bruns was fouled. Missed the layup. Misses the first of 2. Makes the second. 5-3 Eagles.
The second of 2.
As Gardner looks inside, Buckley top of the key. Back to Willis. They swing the ball. Witter on a drive. Off balance. Shot. Rebound. Seamus Brady. Here come the Cardinals. Doviak, nice pass to Brunson. Nice pass to Bruns.
You can see why he's the leading scorer,
Absolutely.
Joe. He knows where the basket is.
Always in motion too, Bob.
I'm a little surprised that Upper Dublin is effective man with the size differential, but they're playing us man and are giving us problems. They're really tough on the passing lanes. Willis is going to have to penetrate again, as we talked about in previous games.
Absolutely. Here's Doviak looking inside. Took too many steps. 5-5. 5.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Upper Dublin in a 2-1-2 zone press. Calabretta gets away with a push-off. Here's Tom P. from the right corner. Count it.
Tom P.
And we're backing up too much. You see it, you just can't keep backing up.
There's Doviak. Strauss. Brady. He looks inside. Strauss, top of the key, looks to penetrate, does penetrate, banks in a floater.
Shouldn't happen, Joe.
No.
There has to be help side there to stop that. He got it at the foul line. Someone has to greet him.
All right, here's Calabretta on a drive. Ball stripped away by Upper Dublin. 7-7. Brady, left wing. Long with a jump shot. Buckley with a rebound. Here come the Eagles. Long pass to Calabretta. Stops. Short with a jump shot. Baseball pass. Strauss. Here's Bruns. They pull it, no, they pump it into Bruns. Drops in a turnaround jump shot.
Yeah, he's not afraid to challenge, Joe.
He is not.
Upper Dublin had a nice series on that. A shot that could have been blocked. They saved it. That effort gave him the 2 points. Good effort for Upper Dublin.
But we expected that, Bob. We really did. Sound fundamental basketball. Hustle, hustle, hustle.
See, I'm surprised Willis gave up the ball out there. You don't want that. The offense can't start at half court.
There's Willis with a drive.
Said this is what has to change for Norristown to be effective tonight. He has to penetrate.
Here's Bruns. Nice back check by Tom P. Knocks the ball away. Saved the basket. All right, it'll be the Cardinals ball. Danny Strauss to inbound. All right, nice play by Tom P. to knock it out of bounds. Here's Seamus Brady. Here's Bruns, looks to drive. Brandon Gregg to Seamus Brady. 15-foot jump shot. Count it. Seamus Brady.
I'm surprised, Joe, at the number of uncontested shots in the paint. A little surprised at that.
Yeah, they're getting good looks. They really are.
They're too good. They're not beating us from the outside. They're getting the penetration. They're getting layups.
(11-11). Buckley on a powerful drive down the lane. Oh, nice play.
Brother.
Broke it so nicely. Surgically dissected the Eagles press.
Buckley didn't even see it though. He has to see that. He was the only one back, and he didn't see the player go down the opposite side of the court.
All right, here's Brian Arthur in for Johnny Calabretta. Brian Arthur, the sophomore, only a sophomore. Oh, he's so quick. He is so quick.
Here's a nice little thing about what Willis just did. He penetrated again, but who picked up the foul for Upper Dublin? Number 24, their best player.
That's right.
So you want to keep setting that table.
Gardner on the line.
Go to the basket, challenge. He can beat their guard that's guarding him and make 24 play him.
All right, Willis misses the first, makes the second. 13-12, the Cardinals.
Let's see if we get beat on this.
Boy, they beat it so easily. Look at this.
We're in trouble on it again. Different player has that ball. We're in trouble.
Nice play. Nice inside passing by the Cardinals. There's a steal by Strauss. Looks to drive. Draws a foul. Very aggressive, surprisingly aggressive defense for the Cardinals, Bob.
I've said you would have thought that they would, and Coach Evans thought that they would play a zone to try and neutralize Buckley, but they haven't needed to. Buckley has not been a factor. He scored the opening basket for them, but he hasn't been a factor. And they're shrinking the passing lane, so really overplaying a lot. Norristown has to backdoor cut, and they have to penetrate.
All right, here's Anthony Johnson in for the Eagles. All right, it's 16-12, the Cardinals by 4. 2 minutes left to play in the first period. A well-played first period. Top of the key. Bingo. Number 25, Anthony Johnson.
It's a nice shot. That's an important shot. If they're just coming into the game, that's a tough shot to make.
Yep.
That's a long 5 seconds, it seemed, Joe.
That was.
He was counting, but it just seemed longer.
Here's Brady. Looks inside. Doviak. Here's Bruns. Drops in a 5-foot jump shot.
He probably has 8 to 10 points already, Joe. That's a 40-point game if this continues. Can't happen.
Jump shot. Off the rim. Rebound retrieved by Arthur. Here's
back to Willis. See how they're cutting down on the lanes, Joe, on the passing and the dribble lane. They're really reacting very well to the ball and its movement.
Tom P. with a jump shot that didn't reach the basket.
Joe, now here's what's concerning me with Norristown. On the defensive end, just talked about it, we are definitely not stopping the penetration. The second thing that concerns me is number 24, whoever's guarding 24 cannot help and should not be helping to the other players. They're not that dominant.
There he is again. Blocked by Buckley.
Now, we have to score here. 3-on-1. I lost the handle. Woo.
All right, they got to pull it out.
We're really out of sync here, Joe. Really out of sync.
Settle down. All right. There's a foul.
You hit it, Joe. They're so aggressive. We're really struggling with that aggressiveness.
Andy Spiker, the Cardinals' 6th man, comes in, fouls Buckley. It'll be the Norristown's ball. That's their Cardinals' 2nd foul. Gardner from the left corner, splash. Willis Gardner with a 3. 18-17. There's a steal.
You have to do it. Have to do it.
That was the first time, Bobby, that the Cardinals seemed to crack a little bit under the Eagles' defensive pressure.
Well, you saw where the ball was entered. It was entered into the corner area, which is your trap area. The guy had a difficult time handling it there, and then it's a back pass and it's a turnover. Obviously, as a former coach, you don't like to see the fact that you've given up 18 points in the first quarter. We're back to that 80 point per game.
That's right.
That's not what you want to do. Norristown, on the other hand, just scored a quick 5 points.
Yes.
Baseline jumper to press, and you went from being 5 down right? 4 down and you're back up by 1.
Absolutely.
So what adjustments I think Buckley has to stay with 24. No matter where he goes, don't worry about help side. You've got to cover him because they know exactly where he is in the paint. You got to shut him down. Willis on the offensive end has to be more involved on the penetration because when he drives, everything good happens. So just a couple minor things here. Go to the basket, get Willis the ball, spread it out, and get Buckley and Witter involved with the game. And you can't keep, that's not a good defensive quarter for us.
No.
We've got to adjust today.